Packer and Durham. Covering everything today, so don't worry about it. We're going till 10. We got it all covered today. Got it all covered. That includes a little ACC wrestling. We just had the championship Sunday in Raleigh. NC State wins again, and our next guest has been on with us before, and this is a bad man right here now. There's a bunch of them in ACC wrestling. We are loaded in this league with dudes you do not want to see down a dark alley. This is one of them. Let's bring on Hayden Hidlay.
Hayden, good morning. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great.
All right. First off, four-time ACC champ. Man, that's you can't beat that, right? I mean, that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I think there's only been 10 people to do it, and I feel really honored to be a part of that list for sure, and especially with how good this league has been in the past few years. I think it's a really good accomplishment to have.
Guarantee you.
But Hayden, you guys as a program, I mean, 3 straight ACC titles. Coach Popolizio's been with us several times. I mean, the culture, all the things about an individual thing becoming a team sport really seem to work for NC State.
Yeah, and it all comes down to it's a group of individuals that at the end of the day we rely on each other, and as we go further in the year and you start to face adversity, you realize that we can fall back on the guys. When it comes to individual tournaments and things like that. So, yeah, it's an individual accomplishment, but we've got 9 other guys that you can rely on, and a countless others in the room. And so when things get hard, the culture really comes out. And we always trust in Pat's vision, and so that's what we got to do. And if we follow Pat, I think we're going to have some really great things.
Hey, I want to go back to the 4-time ACC Championship. When you won your first one, that had to be like, oh my God, this is why I worked so hard. I'm in college for the first go around. I'm the ACC champ. When you win the 4th, how different does the 4th one feel than the first one?
It's definitely different. I think whenever I won it the first time, I remember I just wanted to prove so much. I wanted to show my older teammates that I had what it takes, and that whole year was a lot of like, all right, it's my time to shine. I can do this, and now I'm at the point where I've got to show the younger guys how it's done, and I got to be a leader for them. And when it comes down to it, somebody's got to be the alpha wolf. And, in times like these, whenever we're neck and neck with Virginia Tech, you have to really, show your worth, and you got to show what's made you great so far. And so I looked back at the previous 3 years and was like, I'm in the point now where I'm very mature, and, I've got a lot of experience. And so I've got to show these guys how it's done and set a high bar. And so I can only hope that, the guys in the future look at this and like, all right, he won 4 ACC titles. That's the standard.
All right, but 4 ACC titles, 25 straight wins. You guys have won 3 straight team titles. Just the totality of it can be overwhelming. So how do you stay focused on this?
I think every day you have to find a little bit of an edge. You have to find that chip on your shoulder. And I think we didn't do a good job of that whenever we wrestled Virginia Tech in the dual meet. We wrestled well, and we were going up against a great team, but you got to find any little bit of advantage you can. You got to go in with a chip on your shoulder. And so we know that any given day, things can be taken from you. And if you don't show up willing to give 110%, then somebody's willing to take what you're working so hard for. And so we have a lot of guys on the team that take things personal. And whenever they go into work every day, it's a lot of the memories of what happened at Virginia Tech, what happened the last time I lost. And so we've got 10 guys that go in with a chip on their shoulder, and it creates a room where, every day there's something new that you have to work for. And, complacency just doesn't exist in a place like that. When you have a culture that values finding the next step, no matter how far you are, you can do some really great things.
By the way, is that chip on your shoulder, that tooth that you had pulled on Monday? Because I got to go to the dentist tomorrow. I'm just asking.
Yeah. So, I mean, this probably isn't going to be good for your ratings or trying to welcome any women in their 20s to watch the show. But I do have a fake tooth, and I'll take it out for you guys.
Oh, look at that. Worried about the women in their 20s on this show. I'm worried about your social life, my man. You come rolling in there with that one tooth thing. How's that working out?
You know what? I thought it was going to be I thought I'd be really embarrassed, but now that I'm on national TV without it, I think that's about overcoming your fears as good as it gets. So
that's it.
I guess it's just about challenging yourself every day. And, the only thing is whenever I talk with this retainer thing in it, it's a little bit troublesome, but once I get past the talking part of it, it's not too bad.
Let me tell you, Hayden, women love confident men. And anybody walking around with a 4-time ACC belts and losing a tooth, brother, you got it going on in Raleigh. Just telling you that right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the price you pay with this sport, I guess. And, I've taken so many hits to the face over the years that it just kind of compounded. And, Sunday night was the final straw. And I think I took one big shot to the face, and I was able to score from it. But at that point, the tooth was pretty loose, and it was too far gone. And so the 8 a.m. the next morning, I got it out. And so for the next couple of weeks, I'll just be, looking like a pirate.
I like it. I think you can pull it off. And plus, who's going to talk trash to you, man? You're the 4-time winner. You got 4 belts, and nobody's going to talk trash to you, other than maybe your brother. Now, your brother might, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way that the guys on the team said is like, listen, you kind of look like Jack Lambert, so just kind of go with that, and you'll have a good season.
But wait, no.
Can't do that as a Philly
it doesn't work that way for a guy. For a guy that grew up in outside of Philadelphia, it doesn't work that way. You can't have a Steeler analogy, can you?
No.
Well, I mean, I'm from Central Pennsylvania, so I'm like 3 hours from Philly, 3 hours from Pittsburgh. I'm a Philly fan, but I mean, I respect greatness, so I'm okay using that analogy.
Love it.
Okay.
So great.
All right.
Hey, you mentioned the Virginia Tech match, which was truly, it was riveting television on Friday Night Duels. Mm-hmm. I'm sensing that really drove your team, though, didn't it? I mean, for the way that match ended, and Jacob's been so good all year. And all of a sudden, hey, give the Hokies a lot of credit. As you said, there are a lot of really good teams in this league. But I got to figure that really drove your team down the stretch, especially in the tournament.
Yeah, without a doubt. And when you look at Virginia Tech and you look at our team, there's a lot of similarities. And we both have that, toughness, and we both have that edge where, we don't want to lose to each other. It's an arms race to see who's at the top of the ACC. And so every year that we meet, there's chaos and there's some hostility. And so, a lot of guys took that personally whenever we lost to them, especially guys like my brother who haven't been able to get over the hump against a rival of his. And so you form those individual rivalries, but it's a big rivalry as a whole. And I think that elevates our game. And although we didn't, perform the way we needed to perform in the dual meet, we were still able to look back at that moment each day that we came into practice, and whenever we were doing the hard things, whenever we were doing the extra sprints, or we're on the Airdyne bikes, and we're questioning, are we tired, or how far are we going to go with this? We have to realize that we have to go the distance to beat a team like this. We have to go all 5 rounds. We have to make it ugly, and that was the theme of this ACC tournament is. We have to fight for every point no matter what, because it showed in the dual meet. It came down to individual points. It was as close as it gets. And if you fight for every point, I'm going to feel really confident in this team.
Hayden, I want to ask you an overall question about wrestling in the ACC. And we've talked a lot about Virginia Tech, and I know you guys have had great stuff with Pitt and Carolina over the years, and certainly Virginia too, and Duke. But here's the one thing about wrestling. Mark and I thought that it would be a sport that potentially could take off once the network was launched. As somebody who's involved in it, and I know you're in the middle of the season, and now you got nationals and all those things coming up, but the sport of wrestling in the ACC, do you sense momentum from just the stuff that's happened on our channel. I mean, I'm not trying to be self-serving here, but we're enjoying it as people that represent the channel and work on the channel. Are the guys who participate in the sport sensing the momentum that we're feeling as well?
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is those Friday night duels. And if you look at the national audience, if you look on Twitter, the people love it. They love Rock Harrison. They love the ACC Network, and they love how exciting the dual meets were this year. The ACC is such a small but like concentrated and talent league that no matter what, each Friday night there's going to be a really great dual meet. And so if we can market that and continue to do that by way of the Friday night duels, then it's just going to create a lot of exposure for us. And by the time the ACC tournament comes around, people are going to watch those second round matchups that you have with guys that you've already wrestled in the season. They want to see how it comes to light in March. And so I think we've done a really great job in the ACC, especially just there's so much talent there. And when you look across the board, there's no easy weeks. You've got 5 teams that are really, really good. And so each week you have to elevate your game. And I think we were able to showcase that this year. And I think you've seen not only, wrestling audience from around the country tuned in, but also just ACC fans in general. They want to see what Friday night duels are all about. They want to see a winner. And that's the one thing I've noticed from NC State is even though fans might not understand the sport quite yet, the people that are big NC State fans are really flocking to the dual meets because it's been such a well-marketed program. And, they want to see a winner. And so it doesn't matter for us as wrestlers. If you don't know anything about wrestling, we'll take you in Reynolds. You'll be able to see the dedication. You'll be able to see, how hard we work. And I think that's what people respond to anyways. And so if we can get the people in the door, I don't think they're ever going to want to leave.
I think you're 100% right with what you just said. One more thing for me. How do you reboot for the Nationals? I mean, what's the mindset? You've done this before. So what's the mindset for you, the team, and everybody else moving forward now on the next level?
We got to go the distance. And that's the one thing I told these guys whenever we lost to Virginia Tech in the locker room. It was, in my life, I've lost at the highest level you can possibly lose to. I've been to the national finals. I've lost. I've taken on, one of the best wrestlers in NCAA, and I've lost. And the way that I responded was, I have to go the distance. I have to see this thing out. Because at the end of all this, I know I'm going to find my peace because I went for it all. And so we've got 3 weeks where we have to be fully focused. We have to, really see the end in sight. There can't be any days where you're like, I'm in good enough shape. I just need to peak for the last weekend. We have to take every day as, what can I get better on today? How can I prepare myself? And so if we continue to go the distance, I think we're going to be all right. And, we've got a lot of guys that are supporting us, and, I feel really comfortable, with the room that we have. And, I think we just go to the national tournament and let it fly. We've put in the work, and we've got 2 more weeks of it, but, go the distance. That is the theme.
Pretty good. Hayden Hidlay, congratulations, 4 times the ACC champ. Pleasure to watch you work, and great to have you back with us on the show.
Yep, thank you so much.
All right, you bet. Thank you, and good luck the rest of the way. We look forward to following you. Great story, right? Man.